Welcome to part 3 of my Art Throb Caitlyn cosplay making. So in this video we'll be making the blazer. Okay, I have the pattern that I made for the blazer right here. I'm gonna start cutting it on the actual fabric. The blazer is the part, as you guys know, that I look forward to the least and that makes me the most anxious. So let's get it over with. Okay, I'm gonna start with cutting the heart on the back. I don't actually know what to consider it, but we'll say it's a heart for now. Actually, there's currently a chunky cat on top of the cord to my iron, so I guess I won't be doing any ironing at the moment. Alright, let's start piecing these together. I am super intimidated by this project, so I always end up procrastinating. That's what its sleeve looks like, laid out flat. I'm going to iron it down, of course. I have to cut out the silver for the other one. I realized I didn't actually cut out enough silver pieces, which does suck. Here they both are. So now I'm going to iron them out and add on the bias. Well, we have to make the bias. Okay, time to make bias tape. I'm using this purple fabric because I really wanted this specific shade, but this is the only way I could get it. Okay, so here's a sample. Oh, my thread is going everywhere. So here's the first strip. I'm gonna make the second. It's basically rinse repeat for the next 3, but we'll need a little bit of ironing. Here's how it looks in the back. Not too bad. Okay, now I have both of these sleeves ready to have more done to them. They will need to be finished off with silver bias tape at the ends here, like hers are. But before I put all this purple fabric away, I'm just going to make a ton of purple bias tape. Okay, so I'll show you guys the edges. The edges of the sleeves are finished off with more silver bias tape, which I just made. Just like the skirt, I think these came out so nice. So I'm going to trim up the edges and I'm going to add some tension into this top part for sewing it on later. And then once that tension's added, we can sew up the sides and fold them inside out. And then I'll probably work on the blazer tomorrow because it's Sunday and I need to clean. Okay, the sleeves are done, so tomorrow I can start on the actual like blazer main part, or like the body part, I guess. But I will put them on to show you how they turned out. Ta-da! Alright, so next up I'm going to start with the heart that goes on the back. I'm actually going to add some interfacing to this in order to stiffen it and make it easier to work with because I don't really want it to be the stretchy material. Okay, I don't know if you can really tell in video, but like it is definitely a lot stiffer. This is such a pretty material. That's why I went with a lighter color than her actual cosplay, but this material was so pretty and I couldn't get it like custom done. So I was like, whatever, you know, I'll just do it. It came out nice. So now I'm gonna grab the piece to the blazer that this has to be, there's my light. Now I'm gonna grab the piece to the blazer that this would need to be sewn onto. And it's gonna be covered in bias tape, so I'm just gonna stitch on top because it won't really matter. I need to decide. I don't think I want to interface this piece. I don't think it needs to be that stiff. I think only the front needs interfacing. I think it should be fine because the material is already pretty stiff as is. I don't know, like, I don't know if I want it interfacing or not. Because this part's already interfaced. I think there'll be enough bias tape for structure on the back. Okay, this is on, and I don't know why. It's just like ridiculously satisfying. It just feels cool, and I don't know, it's just one of those texture things that just makes me like, ooh, I like this. Actually, I'm going to sew on these pieces first so the heart can go like on top of them and I can hide away the ends easier. If that makes sense, I think it does. Okay, it's not as clean as I would like, but here is the back of the blazer. So now I'm going to sew the other pieces of the outer layer of the blazer onto this. I'm going to give this a good press before continuing, but here's what it looks like so far. Now that all those pieces are sewn on and like ironed, you know what I just realized? I should have probably put interfacing in the collar. I guess it is a really stiff material though. Oh gosh. Also adding interfacing to all of these silver pieces because naturally I'll show you. Naturally this fabric is very, very, very flexible and it's also stretchy. So I'm just putting like the heavier weight interfacing on the back to keep it really stiff because this is going to go in the front of the blazer and, you know, fold over. Okay, can we just talk about how clean this seam is really quick? It is so satisfying. Pressed it all out. Well, I made the lining, but before I attached the collar, I realized that this is significantly smaller than the main piece. By like a whole 4 or 5 inches. I'm not really sure how that happened. I wonder if this would even fit. It still fits me, so it's probably I didn't notice. But like, kind of wondering if the main piece is actually too big now. Because the collar like didn't fit on all the way. Anyways though, I'm going to figure out how that happened and make it bigger. I'm probably gonna add a piece to the back. Okay, I haven't been able to film because I have like 30 seconds of battery life and my other battery's been charging. But before I turn the lining inside out, here's what it looks like. Interfacing, you can see where the seams are. And then here's the other side. You can see the inside of the heart. Some fabric I accidentally sewed down. I'm not doing the sleeves with the lining. I didn't want to line them because I would get too overheated. I have a jacket with lined sleeves and I almost sweat to death every time I wear it. Not actually, but you know what I mean. So I left this little slit right here. I'm going to give this a good press while it's like this and then turn it inside out and press it again. And then hopefully I'll have a little bit more battery charge to show you guys. Okay, now it's ready for sleeves. I basted together where the lining and the fabric meet just to make this task a little easier. So I'm going to French seam it so then nothing shows on the inside. So it's gonna take me a second to organize. I probably won't be able to show you. Okay, I am resewing on the sleeves because this one's okay as long as they're both the same, but this one is like way above, so I'm gonna make sure they're both sitting the exact same way. Guys, look at how beautiful this piece of bias tape I just made is. This is so perfect. I feel like I'm getting better and better at this every single time I do it. Oh my gosh, my iron just like spit everywhere. That was kind of scary. There's like puddles all over the place. And you can hear it sizzling. Okay, now I have 2 strips of bias tape to sew around the sleeves. I'm gonna hand sew these on because that just makes more sense to me, honestly. So it probably took me 3 or 4 hours total to get this detail right. But here is the top of the sleeve. It looks good. I'm not gonna lie, it looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy about that. It has been 3 or 4 hours over multiple nights of work. It has been really, really exhausting. I am definitely so happy to be done with that part. I'm not really happy with the quality of this back part, so I might actually consider finding a different way of going about this, but it's okay for now. I made sure the back was nice and even too before hand sewing. So these are both coming in at the same points. Nothing looks too bad. I will try it on and show you guys. So, and here's the back. You know, so if I do a cosplay contest with it and the judges are like, okay, but show me the inside. The inside is freaking gorgeous, okay? You can see where I hand sewed on the detail, but even then, that's like not too awful. I think that's kind of to be expected. I'm pretty proud of what I have right here. This has been really hard for me, and I've challenged myself in a lot of different ways, so even if it's not as good as a lot of work that other cosplayers might do and stuff, for me this is a personal. Okay, so the bias tape is now on the bottom. So our next step is that there's hearts that go on each side of the sleeve, like right here. Those need to get sewn on, but they're like super puffy, plush kind of hearts. I have no clue what I'm doing making that kind of thing. So to start off, I'm gonna basically measure how big that area needs to be, take out my pattern paper, and make a little pattern by adding like an inch or 2 on, and then sewing like a backing onto it. So let's get started with that. This is gonna be really challenging. Also, I'm gonna use the purple fabric to back it because there's like some purple around the edges. I can't really draw a heart well. This one is a lot better than this one was. Or do they kind of look the same? So I'm gonna make another one just like this, and those will go on the sleeves, and you'll be able to see the edge of the purple. Instead of me having to like do bias tape around the edges or something. So it'll sit like that. The belt hearts will look a little bit different. These hearts will look alike. I'm going to eat some lunch first though, because I've been holding that off. Okay, to finish up these edges of the bias, I need to go hand sew, and I'm also going to hand sew on these hearts. I just have them kind of like loosely pinned on right now. But I'm going to hand sew those on so those sit right, and then I think this will be done. But I'm going to triple check designs before saying it's done. Okay, the blazer is complete. I will show it to you guys. Alright, these are the hearts I just sewed on. I sewed them on here, here, and here, like each corner area. The heart doesn't quite look like a heart, but I'm very bad at drawing, so that's the best it's probably gonna get. The way I closed these up too, I forgot the name for the stitch, but you sew in between and pull and they come together. That. Stop biting me! No, I don't want to be bitten. So here's the back. There's the 2 hearts. I will put it on and show you guys. Da-da-da! There's the hearts. They have the purple on the sides like I'd wanted. So I found out if I sew down the hearts, depending on how deep I sewed these pins in, that's how much would show. So if I didn't want any of this purple showing, I could have just sewn it down like that. But I did want the purple showing. So like I probably could have gone even narrower with that. but I wanted it to really show. So yeah, that's what we have. I will update the blog post with all of my steps. This was my first time ever making a blazer, so it's a really big deal for me, especially because I made this entire pattern myself. With the help of YouTube. YouTube's been quite helpful, but it's honestly been a super intimidating project for me. And honestly, I think what took me the longest in a lot of this was just building like the mental courage to get through a lot of it. You know what I mean? But in the end, I am pretty proud of it, you know? And here's the bottom with the bias tape. And I made all the bias tape myself, and yeah. So the next video, I will be making the little heart belt that she has, the hat, and the top. I don't think there's any other accessories. There will be a separate video for me 3D printing her weapon though, so stay tuned for that, and thank you for watching. Bye!